Alright, so I'm back at it. I got the GoPro sitting on the dash. I don't know if it's very stable, but headed out to fish another little night derby here in Alabama on Lake Martin, 44,000 acres. Don't do this stuff. I mean, it's not dangerous the way I'm doing it. I'm staying close to the bank, got a lot of lights, got my life jacket on. Don't do this stuff I'm doing if you're not being careful. It can be, there is inherent danger present. I mean, it's like a real recreational lake, you know, but as long as you're safe and you go about it the right way, you'll be fine. Just don't do anything crazy. So I feel bad if something happened to somebody, but I'm gonna go out here and try to see if I can't get me another win out of the Bonafide SS-127 battleship, the meat wagon. I think is what I'm gonna call my next boat. But yeah, we're gonna see what happens. Should be pretty interesting. Only took 8 pounds last week. My buddy Ben, he had 8 pounds and a 2-something for big fish, so got a chance. You know, got the cooler system, live well system fixed up. Show you all that in a minute. It's on its way. I got a couple of better aerator pumps coming. I'm gonna build a couple of these things. I got my bubble makers again, and got the ice chest cooling down. I got me a net mesh this time to go up on top. So show you all that in just a second. But here we go. Let's see what happens. All right, there she is. 44,000 acres. She's a beast. I'm very, very excited to see that the wind's not blowing. Ben said the wind was blowing last week aggressively, and he was like, if that's happening, I don't know what you're gonna do. And I said, I do. I'm gonna coast and hope it calms down before weigh-in. But got a little 5-mile-an-hour wind, looks like out there, just a little ripple in the water. I'll feel it on this, but it's not fishable. So I'm gonna put in right here and basically just fish around through here as far as I can, see what happens. So they looking right now like, what is he doing? Where's this boat? Is that it sticking out of the back? Probably is. This is interesting. What's going on, y'all?
Jay, you gonna drop the big boat in tonight?
You got the big boat ready to roll. Ben's gonna fish with me. He gonna stand up on the front the whole time.
Ben gonna sit.
I'm just messing with you. I about ran late. I had to stop and get gas in the boat. I got a bunch of stuff I got to set up on it to go though, so I'm gonna get down there. Got my own little parking spot here though. That's good. Kayak parking only, boys. I didn't bring my long pants because I thought, hey, it's just a couple hours in the evening, but the sun is cooking on me pretty good right now. So I hope that calms down. Got my truck cleaned out so nice that I put most of my stuff in here tonight instead of storing any of it in the boat. I didn't want to put my seat in there and 2 or 3 things, then oh man, forgot to get my paddle out. I'm gonna try this dip net. I don't really know how this is gonna work. Say I'm gonna try it, I don't know. I'm gonna put it in here for now. See, I got 4 rods and a little bit more tackle than last time. Mainly gonna focus on a drop shot and the top water. I don't really have the capacity to run around to a bunch of lights. Got me a Tokyo rig rigged up too. Top water, Tokyo rig. Back here. I don't really want to take that net. I think that net's just gonna be too much of a headache. The way I got it. Take it out. Hope I don't need it. Hope I don't regret that later. I just feel like it's too much of a mess. All right, I got a new point of view for us tonight. Try out. I got this little thing at Bass Pro. It's actually made to hold a transducer for a little boat like this or a John boat or something, but if you can hold a transducer, you can hold a GoPro. You know, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
How you been enjoying that thing?
It's been fun, man. It's a whole nother world.
Yeah.
Makes every little bite feel like something meaningful. All right, let's see here. Might as well start junking my truck back up. Gave me a big board, Scott did, big ruler, but I don't really want it out when I only need to know if it's 12 inches. It don't really matter if it's real long fish. I'm not measuring for length. I'm just Making sure it's a keeper, so brought my little metal board. Got me basically just a couple little boxes with extra batteries for my nav lights, extra fuse for my power station, a couple hooks, a couple Tokyo rigs. What up, Big B? I told him, I said, Ben's gonna fish with me. I just told him to stand on the front tonight. What did he say? He said, seriously? I said, no.
Alright.
Give me a check my live well. I just got the ice out of it. Y'all need this ice?
I brought a little Ziploc bag.
Oh, God, B. I got 3 packs of old moldy crackers. I didn't even take nothing to eat. I'm good. Appreciate it, B.
Hey, you got your phone on, call me if you need me.
All right, man. Thank you. Good luck. You thought I was stupid last week on the middle pond. I ain't getting 10 feet off the bank tonight. So out here, if I did get in trouble, I got a strobe light I could turn on. I'm definitely going to use my flashlight now, so it's convenient having it right there behind my head. Alright, I got some tethers coming to keep that secure, but from YOLO Tech, but I hadn't got them in yet. So right now, just to make sure it doesn't topple over, I'm going to put a couple of zip ties around this back of this seat. A lot of lower class engineering going on with me constantly, but that'll keep it from falling out of the boat at least. That's all I'm worried about, is I just don't want that joker to go in the water. So here's one of the 2 prize jewels for the evening. I got my graph set up. I just got to wait to put in before I put that through the boat, because the transducer will hit the bottom when I'm dragging it, or when I sit it on the ground. But little transducer there, I just got it velcro to the bottom. Again, everything's temporary. A buddy of mine, Randy Garner, got me hooked up with a couple of knobs for my graph and that little transducer and the power cord and all. I had this graph in my boat in the dash of my nitro at the house, so all I needed was a power cord and a transducer to swap it over to this. Got this thing where at least I can see the drop shot a little bit. I got my transducer on there to where it'll go in. Now I just got to run my power cord back here to my YOLO Tech and hopefully be some kind of semi-smooth, clean little rigging deal here. I think I can run it like it right there and it'll stay out of the way of everything. So what's cool about this power station, I got my live well system. I don't have the aerator on it yet. I tried it, but I got an aerator coming in that I'm going to put on here. But this, I did try a bilge pump on this, and it'll run, as long as it's under 3 amps, it'll run a little bilge pump or something. So I got a 500 gallon per hour, which is what's in a lot of bass boats, to go in here. And then you just turn the little button on it, power it up. That's pretty cool. So just got to make sure I got enough cord and zip tie the rest up where it don't get in the way. Oh, it's going to be tight. I don't think it's going to be that tight. Need a little bit more cord. That's what makes it fun. You catch a 12 inch and it means something. That's all I'm going to catch anyway. I do have it in there. All right. Power station here. I'll put it right there for right now. The cord's kind of in the way, but I'm making one right now, so I mean, it's pretty sweet, dude. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I got me a graph on there now to where I can drop shot a little bit when I first take off, you know.
I got one of them cheapies that I bought from Six to go camping.
Yeah, it's kind of sketchy, and then like I bought that little old teacup. Yeah, it was quite the experience, but this is a whole nother world. I mean, it's a little pricey, but at the same time, like what we're used to with graphs and power poles, and it's nothing if you enjoy it, and I've been having a ball with it.
Good luck.
Appreciate it, buddy. Y'all too. All right, I think I got that thing good enough. All right, so now that I got that rigged up, I'm gonna keep my zip ties kind of in the back here just in case. And a couple of waters for tonight to drink. All right. Oh, that's rejuvenate there. Apparently it was ready to bust. We'll put a couple of them in there and just kind of let them thaw. This is what I'm real proud of here. So last week, for y'all that didn't watch my video, it was intense. There was a lot of moments where I was pretty certain I was going to lose my fish when I went to open my live well. So tonight, I've got me a net around this thing to where when I catch one, I can slip them in here, and I got my cull tags where I can reach in there and get one out if I need to cull. That was going to be a cluster. I had to do that. So now I got me set up where Shouldn't one scoot out on me now. And this net here, I'm gonna have a whole DIY on how I built this thing. But this net's just from flippers, like for swimming. And I just cut the mesh bag up and put it in here, put a little Velcro on it, and good to go. Got 2 little bubble makers here. Turn them on in a minute. But yeah, put it right here in the old tank well. I'll go ahead and turn my aerators on when I put in, where I don't have to come back here now, you know. But they're ready. All I gotta do is, I got those kind of bent around that handle there. I got my coil balls here. I think I'm gonna take these off. That looks like it might be a little bit difficult. I'm gonna clip them somewhere else. I knew I was gonna need them zip ties again. Take me a zip tie. I'm just gonna clip these jokers probably to this right here. All right, you bring it in, take it back with you. Pliers right there. I'll go ahead and turn my back light on. I can reach my front light up there. All right, we're rolling. Got everything about ready. All right. I'll take these off just long enough to get it filled up. That's pretty heavy. Got a little overflow there, so it'll run out for a little while. That's fine. Every time I catch a fish, a little bit of water will run out too. All right, got both of them bubbling. See bubbles coming up. All right. Safety first. All right, here we go. Coming down here to test the blast off. I got so burnt out on fishing out of a boat, I said I gotta make it interesting. Catch 7 pounds, at least it's interesting. I'll tell you one thing I'll do, I'll burn less gas, but I'll burn more calories probably.
Have fun.
All right, man, y'all too. All right, a good little number of boats. What'd you say?
10 o'clock!
All right.
You got my name and number. If you need me now, you call me.
I will, I appreciate it. All right, my graph's working. 9 feet deep, baby. Hope I don't regret the no net situation. Yeah, the cool thing about the middle pond, oh, there's a little wave already. All right, cool, yeah. Stable boat, good deal. Glad it's stable because that would have been pretty rocky. The cool thing about, what was I gonna say? Yeah, the middle pond was a lot better because I could just paddle down the shady bank. Now I got the sun on me hard for 2 hours. It'll be pretty rough. It doesn't feel right away like this ice chest is any heavier. I got a higher capacity ice chest with thinner walls than that Orca. So I'm hoping that the thinner walls don't hurt me, but the higher capacity lets me. And that Orca weighed like 24 pounds. This thing only weighs like 7 pounds, you know, empty. So I got basically, you know, 2.5 gallons of water that I can add to equal out to the weight. Thought I might catch one right here right quick. See a fish down here on the graph. Transducer's basically right under the graph. Try to coast over him a little bit. I'm gonna drop shot following. Dang, I think one followed me up. See that fish right there follow me up about the time I started reeling in, I think. Yep, it's following my bait back down. Come on, baby, bite. There's a couple of fish right there. Bite. A couple of fish down there just looking at it. I was talking about, go down there and check Shay's kill switch. My kill switch is about 9 o'clock. By then I'm about done paddling. That's definitely fish. That may be a perch, you know, brim, or try the old Toki rig. Got my first spool of Suffix Advanced Fluoro on here. 14-pound test. We'll try that out tonight for the first time. Mine feels good if it'll hold up. Feels smooth. They got some kind of gel coat phase or something. I'll look it up and put it on here, but it's like some kind of thing they got, proprietary, patented way of coating the fluorocarbon, and it feels fantastic. Do what? Yeah. I do. Shay Baker. Do what?
Are you full-time YouTube?
No. I probably could have been back in the day. I was one of the first ones messing with it, with Mikey Balls and Fluke Master and a few of them. But I started working with bass, and I just didn't have the time to do it. It was doing pretty good back in, you know, 20,000 views here and there when nobody was doing that stuff. And I just got busy and got away from it. And by the time I got back to it, you know, it done blown up, and there's so much content out there nowadays. It's hard to get anybody to look at anything. Y'all too. Y'all, that right there behind me. That's why you got to be careful. If you're gonna come out here and do something like this, stay close to the bank, keep your ears open, keep your head on a swivel. Because this big joker right here is about to put in. Will rock your world if you don't. That is not a kayak, and it's not kayak friendly. That's a kayak eater right there. That's why you gotta be careful and stay close to the bank. Pay attention to what's going on, keep your head on a swivel. Watch for waves. You may not even see a boat, and waves be coming from way over there. Just constantly be ready where something like that don't get you. That's a big old joker right there. You know what to say about a guy with a big boat overcompensating? Hey, look at me, you know what I mean? That's a lie. See what I'm saying? There's some pretty big waves coming right there. I'm gonna turn the boat and get it ready where it don't rock me sideways. Kind of take them on head on. Little boat does pretty good in the waves though. Those are pretty good waves right there. Pretty dang good waves right there. Like I'm whitewater rafting out here. All right, yeah, I think I'm gonna want to get around this point where I can get away from a lot of this. It's a little sketchy. It creeped me out watching that big boat come by. I haven't seen one that big up here in a long time. Of course, I go put in a kayak and there's the behemoth come by. Felt like I was out of teacup. I felt like I was right back in teacup when that big joker's eased by. Same deal up here as on that little lake I fished a lot. Y'all seen me fish something, talking about shade and all. Shade's really important here too. Coil tags is a pretty good place for them. Just put a zip tie around my little deal there. I really could have just clipped them to my, could have undid this, just clip them around that, but I got them kind of around that and then around a zip tie. I don't have to cut them. I can just reach down and like that. And I think most of the stuff I'm doing, I mean, there's some other guys who've had to do some of this, but a lot of the stuff I'm going to be doing, these little hacks and setups and everything, is going to be pretty brand new stuff because not many people are trying to keep fish. Nobody really needs these coil tags in a kayak or like an aerator system or whatever. So most everybody's just catch and release, measuring them. And I mean, that's cool, and I'm going to get into that, I'm sure. Like, the tournament scene is going to be a big deal. I'm a very competitive person, so I want to do the tournament stuff too. And that's, you know, going to be a measured deal. It's always going to be that. That's cool. But like, I want to do some little videos where maybe me and a buddy take 2 kayaks out and have a little one-on-one tournament, you know, and either catch like, you know, a 3-fish limit if we go to a pond, have a big fish tournament, but you can still keep them alive and have a little weigh-in at the end. I think that'll be cool. I have all this stuff on my channel. If y'all want to check it out, you know, I'm gonna have some little DIY projects and show how I'm doing some stuff. And if y'all like that kind of stuff, let me know. I'll try to keep making some more of it and keep coming up with ideas as I go. Man, that would be a sweet bank to be on with all that shade over there. My next little live well deal is gonna be nice. It's it's gonna have a pump in, pump out, or a pump in and an overflow deal. Got a little aerator pump on the way, and I got me an overflow cut in my cooler to where I don't even have to put water in here to start with. I can just have my pump ready, and then when I catch my first one, I can hit a little button on the side of my Yellowtech power station, and I'll have water start pumping in. And once it gets full, it's just going to overflow, and instead of recirculating like I'm doing today, I'm going to have fresh water coming in all the time. So that'll be good. Look forward to that. I hadn't really noticed it because I hadn't been in the kayak enough to really know if the weight behind me is substantial right now, but I'm sure it would be easier to paddle around. Like right now, it's 30 minutes in, I hadn't had a bite yet. I would much rather have not put water in the live well yet, you know, but I had to just go ahead and load it up. I didn't want to turn around and try to pour water over in it. a pretty good fish coming up right there. I just dropped it right between 2 or 3 of them too. It'll be a bite. Man, that's some decent fish right there. Come on, fish, dadgum. Should have brought me a spoon. Well, pretty good little waves coming. About the time I get on some fish. Maybe that waves will bob my bait up and down just right. I think it's time to pick up a topwater and just see what I can do. Alright, let's see what we can do here. I don't really want to catch fish out real deep anyway because my cooler on the back, you know, I don't know how hot it'll get. I try to condition it, and I mean, I'd like to catch fish anywhere, but you pull a fish up out of 25 plus right now and throw it in a cooler. Even with my aerators and a couple of bottles of frozen rejuvenate in there, it's probably getting pretty warm in the sun. It's a cheaper cooler. I try to get more water, so if I get in the shade, catch a fish up shallow, I'll have a better chance of keeping it alive anyway. And that's my goal. I mean, I want to catch them, but I don't want to weigh in 15 pounds if they're dead. I'm pointless. I hate killing fish and seeing dead fish get weighed in. I mean, one fish here and there, you can't help it. Five fish limit's dead every time. It's not cool. I'm hoping, I don't throw a plopper up here much because everybody and their brother does, but I'm hoping I can throw this thing out there and it kind of pull me down the bank like the spinnerbait's been doing. If I can do that, it'll be sweet. Kind of like a little trolling motor situation here. Can't forget about that little transducer if I go over anything too shallow. I pulled it off. It's a pretty good cast for such a BS angle. This thing don't have quite the pull needed to pull me down the bank. I need one of them big ones. Some clear water. I'm gonna try to stand up where y'all can appreciate what I'm fishing here. Good luck with this camera here. It's gonna be a crotch shot. But yeah, some clear water on Lake Martin. I'm stalking them. There's a little bass right there about 10 inches long. I intentionally didn't catch him. I didn't want to get my hands wet, you know what I mean? I knew he wasn't going to keep, so I'm pretty good at not catching them. Woo, that's the first time I hit anything behind me in a while. I got a little excited on my slack at the end of the rod and I smacked, I guess, my little light pole or something. Luckily it didn't end in misery. Dang, my glasses are, these SOBs. SOB stands for sunglasses on a budget. These cost $4.99. And they are anti-fog resistant, which means they don't not fog up. But when they 1,000 degrees and you're sweating, they're pretty good little glasses, especially for less than $5. I'm gonna pick up a couple keepers quick on a drop shot. That didn't pan out. Now I'm sucking hind teat, as they say in the South. That's where you have a litter of puppies or piglets or whatever, and you get the last teat towards the back, sucking hind teat. Not really where you want to be. Alright, let's make a little paddle. It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be miserable. I'm gonna do it. Get it over with. Get up here around this corner. Where hopefully it'll be shady and cool. You know what time it is. Shut up and paddle. Saw that coming. There was one too many posts on this dock. I mean, not to get hung. Alright, so I decided to go ahead and paddle a ways, and I made it past one dock. So now, picked the bait up, went back to fishing. So now it's really time to shut up and paddle. About an hour in, 0 so far. Not going like it was last Wednesday, that's for sure. Wednesday was a lot better than this. But I get on them in a minute. Alright, I think I'm gonna make me a paddle straight across here, get on that shady side. It looks a lot further on the GoPro than it is. I just paddled from the back of this pocket. It's about the same distance as it is across this pocket in front of me. I did that in 2 minutes, so it's not bad. There's one boat way out there. I can see a long ways every direction. the sun's on me good if somebody was coming. Well, I could flag them down as far as the sun being over there. If a boat's coming from back here, shouldn't be anybody running out super fast. You know, if somebody were coming in, I wouldn't want the sun behind me. So the sun's to my left, that's good. Everybody ought to be able to see me good. I can stand up in this boat if I needed to, wave the paddle. Probably show it myself, so I'm gonna try to make a little 2-minute run across here. 6:57. Hope to be on the other side by 7 o'clock. I have 3 hours left. $7 o'clock on the dot. I'm pretty much here, so took about 2.5 minutes to make that quick paddle. But now I'm not on that sunny bank. Over here on a shady bank, I can fish out the last hour of daylight in peace, where fish have probably been getting a little more aggressive by the minute with it getting shady because it was already shady like Slim. So anyway, I'm almost over here. Toss a worm up there a couple times. I'll go straight to the top water, I don't know. Pretty good little paddle. But I'm on the right side of things now. I think I can get a bit better. My little camera mount in front of me is doing pretty good. I hadn't hit it. I got hung in that little tree and we hadn't hit it. Kind of right at the edge of my sidearm cast. But I'll probably smoke it here in a little while. Let's go to the top water and just go with it and see what happens. One thing about kayak fishing that's going to do for me is teach me to fish what's in front of me. Like, I really wanted to try to get to the back of this pocket over here, and if I wasn't in a kayak, I would make a little run right over there right quick. But this looks pretty good too, and since I am in a kayak, I got to fish to maximize my time. I don't want to spend 30 minutes tonight paddling around, you know. Paddle here and there, fish what looks good when it looks good. Get better at fishing what's right in front of me. Some of the best in the world, that's what they do really well, is just whatever the day brings, they're there and they go ahead and try to maximize where they are instead of running around wasting a lot of time. I'm trying to look at these docks as I go by and see if they got a little monster light, a little green light box on them where I know there's a light. You can't just run around looking for lights either after dark. I haven't fished in here, I don't think ever. And so I don't know which docks have lights, if any of them. Try to keep an eye out to see if any of them got one. Looks like that one's got one. It's gonna be in a bad spot for me to fish later. Looks like it'd be pretty shallow too. I don't really want to have to paddle way back over here. Need lights over there. On the way back to the ramp. A couple of minutes running from me. One toasted me right there and didn't get it. Dadgummit. I'm just a little old keeper, but I'd take a little old keeper right now. And one thing about a whopper plopper though, they hardly ever come back and hit it again. You might throw up there and be 2 or 3 of them running together, and a different one get it, but usually if that's the case too, you'll get bit because there'll be 2 or 3 of them fighting over it. Looks like it might have followed my bait under the boat and went down. If I miss another one, I'm gonna pick up that little popper. It's easier to cover a little bit more water with this thing, but actually I'm gonna go ahead and pick up that popper. I ain't gonna miss no more because I can't miss no more. What I'm not looking forward to is catching fish on treble hooks tonight. I got lucky and was able to swim a jig in that 101 on Middle Pond, and one hook flopping around in the bottom of your boat and in your laps, one thing, but 2 sets of treble hooks is gonna be a little sketchy. Man, the time's just melting off the clock. 7:08. I don't get spun out. It's hard to get spun out in a kayak, I guess, but I could start paddling way too much, covering way too much water. I need to just fish what I'm looking at. It's shady. I mean, it's good, probably just as good as anything else. hard casting a bass. Boom. Oh my gosh, come on, baby. Eat. That's a pretty shot. Ought to have been one right there. I conveniently got hung, and before I popped it off, I straightened my boat back out. That's pretty sketchy because it got fouled up. Thought that was going to be pretty cool. I was wrong again. No kind of sandals. You wrong. Mama's right. Dang, I'm not making very good casts on this bank. Through the thing, threaded a needle will go through that gum dock and a tree top and everything else. And now I can't throw on a stinking riprap bank. Still getting used to everything. Definitely different. I'm looking forward to having my pump in function because I've been hauling around 48 quarts of water for an hour and 12 minutes without a bite. When I get that pump in, I'm going to have it where I can just push a button and fill her up when I'm ready. What about that? That can just died. This is the challenge of fishing out of a kayak and filming out of a kayak and fishing a tournament out of a kayak and filming again out of a kayak. There's a lot going on. I'm trying to keep 3 cameras going. So charge my hat cam back up for a minute and then put it back on. But I should have my yellow tech going and my front cam going. Somebody's burning some gas. Burn old gas. Okay. Oh, I wish, dude, you know what would be fantastic? They school a lot on this lake. If them sun guns come up schooling by me and I could catch 5 and everybody be like, oh man, he caught him. He's got 10 pounds. That sun gun probably caught him all night. That stupid kayak thing, I tell you what. But what really, I would have just caught him schooling. That would be really nice. I'd like to do that. I've gotten pretty bored. I haven't caught anything, haven't had any bites. It's an hour and 28 minutes into the night, and my mind is starting to leave me. I'm starting to wonder. Always wonder, never wonder. Always wonder, always wander. I think it is. Oh, I gotta get a bite. Paul Lies could have fished out of one of these back in the day and caught the crap out of them. Ain't even no need to nail and reel, brother. You down here. You can go ahead and just boop. You ain't even got a nail. Lean and reel. I don't even have a ring to it though. Hope there's a pier like. I sure hope there's a pier like between me and there. I sure hope there's a pier like where I can get a bite tonight. Hopefully. I have one fish, nose of top water, just kind of like, what's that kind of deal? That's it. Other than that, it's been grinding. Grinding. Come on, baby. Give me a bite. There you go. I was starting to drift to the right a little bit, and I just dumped my foot over in the water. The old croc steered me straight. Not surprised, they've never let me down. Guys, I think I might be onto something. Just hang your old foot out over there. It kind of slows down your drift if you start to drift off a little bit. I'm a redneck engineer, you know what I mean? Less than classy ways to fix modern problems. Seeing a few little minnows, getting out of Dodge. Nothing bothering them, they just kind of scooting along, looks like. Which Daddy said, they ain't jumping for exercise, so maybe something is down there messing with them, but most of the time it's just kind of getting out of the way of my bait, I think. Maybe I'll start me a Daddy said, like the old water boy's mama said. Daddy said, you can't please a woman. Stand on the porch, pee in the yard, she gets mad. Stand in the yard, pee on the porch, she gets mad. What are you gonna do? That's actually my granddaddy's saying, but I like it, so maybe we'll do some of those. Daddy said. I'm ready for a pack of crackers, but I ain't earned it. You don't eat crackers till you gotta fish in the boat. You don't drink your water till you got a fish in the boat. You come to Lake Martin and you gonna die of thirst and hunger, 'cause you ain't gonna get a bite. What's up, Fido? I done snuck up on you. I ain't gonna bother you. I ain't gonna bother you, buddy. I'm just fishing. You know, one of the things that's so cool about kayak fishing is you get to see a lot of cool places. You know, you get to see things that a lot of people don't get to see. You get to put in really remote locations, and you know, just it's kind of a whole different world in a kayak. You know, and I don't mean to get super sappy or anything, because you know it can be a little much, but that's kind of how I feel right now, because I'm apparently in umbrella land, and I didn't even know that was a place. So you know, you can really get spiritual in the kayak realm. Pretty cool stuff out here. So I got pretty excited a minute ago because I thought that I had spotted some shad in the back of this pocket I'm going to. But now I'm kind of looking at it and I'm like, that's too big to be shad. And I think it's too small to be a beaver or an otter. So boys and girls, y'all know what it is. Y'all already know. I don't even have to say it. I'm about to get out on this dock, this bleepity bleep 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 dock. I'm pretty sure that's a snake. He kind of changed his path, his direction. I went from really excited that it was going to be a wad of shad to, I don't want to die today. No, I think it's an otter. I think it might actually be a beaver. Now that he's sped up a little bit, you can see more of him. Like I said, everything's a little more interesting in a kayak, so you can see him right there now. So otter or a beaver, maybe a beaver. That sun gun tonight, man, if that beaver comes up beside me and does that old tail slap in the middle of the night, I'm going to come out of this kayak, boys and girls. I'm going to look like Jesus going across that water. I have found the prettiest tree of the night and threw about 2 inches too far. Beautiful. Beautiful. Come on. Dang. Oh, the beaver's back. Maybe even be a different one. Maybe his lady beaver. I guess the first one could have been the girl. Not to be sexist. Uh-oh, yeah. It's like a little beaver, like maybe a baby. I hope there's not like 10 of them back here. Nope, when I messed up. Don't get mad, Scott. I felt the difference. That's pretty cool, actually. I felt the difference in how the paddle was doing. You know, early on, I had my paddle upside down sometimes. And you're supposed to have it where you can read the writing, or whether this one's got like a little hook on it. If that hook's down, you're good. But I didn't even know. You know, I don't know anything about what I'm doing. So Scott, you've been trying to look out for me, Scott Butcher, buddy, that was getting me into this pretty good. He's like, "You want your paddle where you can read it?" I was like, "Oh, good, 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 good." You can feel the difference, and I was like, "No, no, 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 I can't." But now I actually can, which is pretty cool. Progress. There's a squirrel trying to drop bombs on me. Oh man. Oh man. This has been quite the cluster eponymous so far. Don't ever, if you feel your line get around your hat cam or something, don't ever snatch it, because you'll snatch that hat cam right off and into the water. Just a little word to the wise. I've never done it, but I've gotten my hat cam just right on the edge of my brim, like of my hat bill, like that. I'm gonna try this. My grass right here in front of me. I'm gonna try to brighten my screen all the way up and see if you can see me on this point of view later. I imagine you can. It's pretty bright. But it's coming up on dark. I got my nav lights on. I hadn't turned my yellow tech light on in the back yet, because when I do that, it's gonna kind of blow this shot out. But if I can even reach it. Yeah, here it is. See, when you turn this on, it's going to jack all that up. That's a good setting though. If I did get in a bind out here, I could do that right there, and if somebody can't see that, then they are the problem. Yeah, so tournament recap so far. Been a pretty slow evening. I've had one bump on a top water, not even a bump on a drop shot, and I'm fishless. So if you are into fish catches, if that's your thing, look away, look away, look away, look away, because I ain't caught crap. But oddly enough, I'm still enjoying it at the end of the night. See, if I went out in a bass boat and didn't catch crap up to this point, and I was trying to film a video, I'd be so mad. But I mean, I think people can just kind of understand that, hey, you know what, he's not always going to catch them, he's in a kayak. And that way I still have a story to tell. I still have the process of me learning how to do all this stuff and kind of changing some things in it, you know, trying to put a live well on here and do some different rigging that's probably not commonplace in the kayak world. So even if I don't catch them, there's still something to do with the footage versus bass boat stuff. I mean, if you don't catch them in a bass boat, ain't nobody listening. And I don't blame you. It's been done. You know, it's all been done to death. So there's really not much you can say or do about a bass boat to make it interesting without a bite. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like, you know, let me know if y'all aren't really feeling these 45-minute, 30-minute videos of me not doing much, then let me know. But y'all want to see more of it, let me know that too. I'll try to start doing some more big boat stuff, I guess, at some point. I mean, I really don't have any desire to right now, but at some point when I feel like it, I'll get back into that. So, but yeah, that's where we are. The midway point, 754. Man, that is a bright graph. I looked at it and went blind for a minute. But 754. Got about 2 hours left. Gonna need a much better second half. So I don't claim to have originated this saying. I think it's a military saying, embrace the suck. But I'm gonna kind of PG it up a little bit and say embrace the grind. And that's not my saying. Again, it's just an adaptation of one that I like the saying, you know, but it can be cleaned up a little bit. Try to keep it pretty family friendly on here. So embrace the grind. I got both arms around that sun gun right now, let me tell you. And she is not attractive. I wonder sometimes like that, like I threw to the left of a tree with a whopper plopper, pretty loud bait. And then I threw immediately to the right of the tree. Now, how often do you think, I think that fish probably hear it, swim to the left, and then you fire, you know, they don't get over there in time. You fire in there to the right, they hear it, they turn around and swim back. By the time you come through there, it's already gone. So I don't know if I'm just making stuff up to make myself feel better, but I like to make a couple casts at a place like that, especially with a loud bait that might draw them from ways off. Make a couple of repetitive casts to the same little area before, you know, moving 15 feet away. Then I think you just end up with a fish potentially just chasing you down the bank, you know. Well, it's a pretty sunset. Damn this down. That's pretty right there. You know, I ain't even caught a fish, but that right there is worth sharing with y'all. And I hope it shows up, because it can't do it justice. It's beautiful out here right now. Maybe I'll get on a little something here in a minute. Alright, so I just turned the corner into this pocket right here by the ramp, and no dock lights, and I was counting on dock lights, at least maybe one. But, you know, worst case scenario, there's one dock light, and maybe I can get 2 or 3 bites. Who knows? Catch a limit, you know. But no dock light. Reassess the situation. Figure out what I'm going to do and eat these crackers I hadn't earned, because by gosh, I'm about to die. So I'm going to think about, you know, what I'm going to do with my life, what I'm doing with my life while I'm out here, and figure out a way to catch at least one fish. Little victories. I got to get at least one bite in the boat. All right, where's my water? All right, I got to turn the light off. See y'all later. I'm contemplating making a mile paddle, and you know, I don't really have a lot of options. I have to either, you know, I have to stay on the bank, and just for safety, you hear a boat running right now out there. I didn't have a bite on any of this stuff in the daylight, and that don't mean you can't catch them after dark. I mean, a lot of fish feed this time of year after dark. I could go back down through all this and get a bite, but I highly doubt it. I mean, I might get a bite, but I highly doubt I'm gonna whack them. So, contemplating making a little paddle about a mile, and then I still have to get back to the boat ramp. So, I don't know. That sounds pretty intense. Sounds like a good time to throw in the towel and go put it on the trailer, back of the truck, I guess. But that ain't me. You know, I don't like giving up. Like I said, right before I started doing all this, I gave up for the first time in a long time. You know, Wednesday nighter in my bass boat, put it on the trailer at 9:30 and went to the house. And I don't like doing that, but I had enough. And right now, I hadn't had enough of this. So I'm pretty sure I'm about to make a ridiculously long paddle at night, but on the bank. And then I got an hour and a half before weigh-in, so I'm gonna stop on one point where I saw someone on a drop, where I couldn't get on a body drop shot, but I saw someone on a drop shot. Maybe throw a spinnerbait or jig that Tokyo rig or something. I don't know. Try to get one to bite right there, and yeah. So shut up, paddle time. Got a bite. Feels little. Dang, I think I had a bite. Dang. Must have been a brim or something. Felt good though. I don't know if some of you guys are OG Shea Baker followers from back in the day when I used to try to do a YouTube deal a pretty good bit, but I had a little video series called Quest for 100 Kickers. I started a new one tonight called Quest for One Keeper. Alright guys, I did not have a bite on the one dot light I found. It's 9:30. I gotta be back at 10. Probably got about 20 minutes of paddling. Rough estimate based on kind of how long it took to get over here. So I'm gonna try to hit one more little spot on the way in, try to get me a keeper. Well guys, it's 9:45. 9:42 technically. I've yet to have a bite. I had one semi bite. Thought I had a bite then. I didn't. Don't worry. I don't know what came over me. I had one semi bite earlier in the day on the top water, and I keep going back to that because that's the only time I was certain there was a fish in the lake. But somebody caught him. I'm sweating. I don't know if you can tell it in the video. My face is just dripping. But somehow I still had fun, and I know it's weird. And honestly, like if I wasn't filming this, you know, trying to film this for you guys, it wouldn't have been any fun tonight. I mean, it's been pretty brutal. But just because I got a camera rolling and I can talk, you know, BS like I'm with somebody in the boat, it makes it a little bit better. And you know, that's a lot of y'all don't know that about me. My first name's Brandon, and my dad. You know, I asked my mom and dad one time, like, why did y'all name me Brandon Shea, and then call me Shea? Like, why do that? You know, I have to put Brandon on everything legally, and what's even worse is my mom's name's Melanie LaShan, and she goes by LaShan, so obviously it wasn't her idea. And my dad chimed in, you know, said, well, I knew how it was going to be for you. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, you know, Brandon Shea Baker, B.S. Baker. I knew how you were going to turn out in life, and I thought, you know what, that's pretty messed up, because he's a bigger BSer than I am. But anyway, I got a pretty good little paddle left. I don't want to get back late even though I don't have anything. Try to set a good example and be on time. And I'm going to have a little fun with these boys though. I'm going to pull up. A lot of them know I won that Wednesday nighter out of this thing, so I'm going to pull up and get my cooler off the back, ease it up the hill, and just stand there in the bag line with the cooler. It's got aerators on it, so it's funny, they're going to keep running. So I'm just going to ease up there with the cooler full of nothing and mess with them a little bit, tell them I got a pretty good limit of fish. At least have a little fun. mess with these boys a little bit. Pretty good bag. Pretty good chest, I guess. I'm gonna weigh mine right quick. Nah, I got him. I ain't had a bite all dang night, boys. Oh, that was brutal.
Yeah, bro.
That was brutal.
It was brutal.
I'll tell y'all one thing. I burned a lot less gas. I've got my butt whooped up here many a time, burning a lot more gas. So y'all don't get it. I'm telling you, I got something figured out here. I even brought my own seat for the show. Good job, y'all.
Good job.